Doug Travis was born in Marion County on April 25, 1919. Growing up in rural western Kentucky in the 20s, Doug was a natural athlete and took to the woods early.
Well, I grew up like any other country boy in a little town. Some of the first things I can remember is going with Dad fishing, and I guess I was 10 or 11 years old when I started quail hunting with him and dove hunting with him. But I was into the outdoors all my life.
Hunting and fishing became Travis's passion, and his skills are evident in these early pictures. His prowess in the woods translated easily into the boxing ring as he attended Murray State University in 1939 and had 147 amateur fights as a Golden Glove boxer.
I won most of them. I won most of them.
After college, Doug joined the Army and became a small arms instructor for officers from 1942 through 45.
But my father was in service and my brother was in service. And I just had to go too.
Doug's abilities in the woods had not been forgotten. He was approached by the fledgling Department of Fish and Wildlife, which 3 years earlier had just become an independent state government agency.
The county judge of Crittenden County, the postmaster of Crittenden County, an attorney there in Crittenden County, come to me and wanted to know if I'd be interested in being a game warden of Crittenden County. And I told him I didn't know anything about being a game warden. They said, well, you're a good hunter and you're a good fisherman. We think you'd make a good game warden. And I took a test, and here I am. My equipment was a badge and a commission and a 14-foot boat that they'd built at the game farm and a 5-horsepower engine. That was it.
Travis was an avid archer and was friends with bow hunting legend Fred Bear. He lobbied for a bow season for western Kentucky and the LBL area in the 1950s that turned out to be the first bow season in Kentucky. Doug's natural skills as an instructor led him to conservation education. He was named supervisor over a 14-county region in the western part of the state just 1 year after becoming a game warden. Doug's friendship with Fred Bear produced an idea that paid off for Kentucky kids at Fish and Wildlife conservation camps.
Well, when we needed to go beyond the recurve for our kids, for the camps, and when the compounds came out and they were so much easier to shoot, and you could, the let off on them was so that these smaller kids could do it, and there wasn't one made. So I thought, well, if anybody can make one, Fred Barrow can make one. That was the second year after they had left Grayling, Michigan, and they went to Florida. I just called him on the telephone, got him on the telephone, told him what the problem was and what we'd like. He said, I can get that done. So in 2 months, he sent me 2 of these little bows. And I went up to one of the schools there close to camp and brought some kids down there, both boys and girls, and let them shoot those little bows, and man, it was what we wanted. So I called him back and I said, man, this is great. You ought to put this thing on the market. And that was the Mini-Mag.
Wow.
That was when he put the Mini-Mag, we done his field testing for him out there at camp.
Doug's love of the outdoors can be seen in his artwork. He has carved countless waterfowl decoys, most of which have been donated to Ducks Unlimited, to raise money for wetland habitat conservation. Doug has been an avid hunter over the years, hunting in 10 states and Canada for waterfowl and big game. In 1952, Doug became Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife's first firearms instructor. He was also an NRA instructor and lifetime master in both pistol and rifle. Doug was the director of Camp Curry from 1975 through 2000. Doug's accomplishments are too numerous to mention in just a half-an-hour show, but I think Doug would take the most pride in knowing that over 300,000 kids have a better understanding of conservation ethics and outdoor skills thanks to his tireless efforts over the last 6 decades.
I've got a 410 shotgun, a Model 42, that 1 year I shot 10 cases of shells through. I mean 500 to the case with kids in classes here in West Kentucky.
And how's that experience been to know that you've sent so many kids headed down the right path?
Well, it makes you feel great. you know, these people come to me that I had in classes that now have grandchildren. And you know, the things that they talk about, I was up at Livingston County High School this week. Took a bunch of wood up there. The shop class is making wood duck boxes for us, for free, everything. I went in and the principal, and I didn't really know who was the principal there because I hadn't been. There was no reason for me to be there. This fellow looked at me and he said, "Mr. Travis," and I said, "And you're Mr. Riley." I said, "And your mother taught at Hampton School?" He said, "Yeah, my mother taught at Hampton School." And he said, "That's where we shot BB guns, out there at Hampton School." And that's been years and years ago, almost every day. And it's great that people remember you and what you did.
Some of his former students include our friends from Western Kentucky, Night and Hale.
He has introduced more young people to the sport of shooting in the state of Kentucky, but teaching them how to shoot than probably any other man. You know, I told the president of Winchester Ammunition one time, I said, if it ever was a hero in the state of Kentucky to getting people to learn them to shoot and teach them how to shoot, is Doug Travis.
Doug's the kind of guy you didn't mind leaving your kids around. He was a moral man.
Yeah.
And that's important this day and time because it seems like there's not a whole lot of it out there anymore. And we were fortunate to grow up in the days when morality was a big thing. And you never had to be worried about your kids being around Doug.
Doug has been celebrated all over Kentucky for his accomplishments, but remains a humble, well-spoken ambassador for the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and at 86 still wears his uniform with pride.
I told Earl Wallace, the first commissioner that I ever worked for, we was having a pretty heart-to-heart talk, and I said, "Boss, I don't work for you, and I don't really work for the Game and Fish Department. I work for the hunters and the fishermen and the fathers and the mothers and these children that I have in this program. Those are the people that I'm working with. Those are the people that I want to satisfy. Those are the people that I want to teach things to.